Before I begin with the video today, I just want to take the time to thank you all so much for your support on my famous graves video from last week. That was the first proper attempt of my plans to bring you all a weekly narrated tour video from New York. Right now my videos don't get a lot of views. In fact, at the time of writing this, the video in question only received 90 views. What was important though was the time that you guys spent watching the video. I put so much effort into making that video. It took me countless hours to create, and to see it pay off by people actually watching the whole video, as denoted by the retention rate that the video had, that made me really happy that my hard work had paid off. So thank you all so much for your support. It was very encouraging news for the future of this channel, as that is the direction that I am planning to go in the future. Our video today starts at the building that was once the RKO Madison Theater in Ridgewood, Queens, designed by the architect Eugene DeRosa. The theatre opened on November the 24th, 1927, showing the movie Underworld. As was normal for the time, the movie was also accompanied by vaudeville performers from the Keith Albee Circuit. At the time, the Keith Albee Circuit had 700 theatres and thousands of vaudevillian stars to choose from. This theatre operated between 1927 and 1978, and the number of stars to have walked through its doors is simply breathtaking. In fact, there are so many that I couldn't even begin to give a comprehensive list of who appeared here in person. The old theatre sits on the Brooklyn-Queens border and served those communities during its heyday, with tales of many a star getting out of a car right opposite to where I am now standing. There is a partial list of people known to have made a personal appearance at this theatre over the years, and then there is a secondary list of possible people who may have made an appearance at the Madison. But those people could have also appeared at any one of the many theatres in the area at the time. The list of people who definitely made an appearance at this theatre include John Wayne, Lucille Ball, the Three Stooges, Bela Lugosi, and Bob Hope. The list, I am sure, is pretty endless. These are just a few of the names who I researched, where it is documented that they appeared at this theatre in person. Like I said though, they only represent a small fraction of the number of famous people who appeared here at the old Madison Theater on Myrtle Avenue in Ridgewood, Queens. On the side of the building, you can still make out the word Madison, which was part of the original sign from 1927. The side of the building originally said RKO Madison Theater. You can still see Madison, but the graffiti covers up the word theater below it, though you can just make out the top of the word. Venditti Square, named after the slain New York detective Anthony J. Venditti. On January the 21st, 1986, Detective Venditti and his partner, Detective Karen Burke, had been patrolling the neighborhood. When they pulled up to this diner, which at the time was known as Castillo's Diner, Detective Venditti went inside to use the restroom. He exited moments later and was followed out by 3 members of the Genovese mafia family. These 3 men were targets of an ongoing investigation that the two detectives were a part of. Detective Burke witnessed this from the car and ran to her partner's aid, drawing her gun. After issuing a verbal warning, one of the men fired at her, hitting her in the left side of her chest. She fired 5 rounds in return, but by this time her partner had been shot twice in the face and twice in the back from point-blank range. Detective Venditti died right in front of the diner, at the bottom of the steps leading into the diner. Despite the testimony of Detective Burke, the defendants of the crime family survived 3 trials and were never convicted of this crime. It is believed that the detectives were followed to this location from Manhattan by the crime family, and that someone actually in law enforcement had tipped off the mobsters as to the car license plate being used by Detective Venditti. There was an eyewitness at the first trial, which resulted in a hung jury. By the time the second trial came around, the witness had recanted his story, saying he was pressured into being a witness by the police. The witness had also been badly beaten prior to the second trial, suffering a broken leg. By the time the third trial came around, the star witness had been murdered, shot in the head, and his body dumped in an area that was notorious as a mafia dumping ground for dead bodies. Near his body lay a pile of rotting fish, which is known in mafia lore as an informer sleeping with the fishes. The Venditti Square Plaza was opened in 1989 and was dedicated to the memory of Detective Anthony J. Venditti.